Hi, I'm Jackie Crone. I teach 5th grade over at Peter Hobart, and this is Sarah Reichert. And I wrote a grant 2 years ago for 5th grade to get math manipulatives, and it was so well received at school that Sarah came and borrowed some of my manipulatives along with some other people, so that sometimes when I wanted the manipulatives, they were not in my room. And of course, I just had an open door and let people come and take things, so sometimes too good, because then I would need it, and I'd be like, okay, where are those things? I need those right now. Who has them this week? So Sarah actually wrote a second grant for these, and Sarah was able to write the grant so that we were able to get 2 math manipulative kits for each grade level. And not only that, Frida Bailey also said she would give us some money. So our ELL teacher has some of the manipulatives, and then we had some extras, so we were able to share some of those with special ed as well. So everybody has access to these manipulatives. Let me show you some of the things. It was kind of interesting watching Anson and Elizabeth with their calculators, because at my level, this is what we do with algebra. Okay, so we have the kids using balances, and they learn that equals is not necessarily the answer. It's the same as, because when they will get to a test, they might have something like 3 plus 7 equals 8 plus, and they'll say the answer is 18, because they take all the numbers and they add them together. And so they have to learn that equals is not the answer, it's the same as. Okay, so this is one of the tools that they use that I got for 4th grade. And then another thing that you guys did was the estimating jar. We actually have a jar that we use, and I found a bunch of different tools at Axemen for kindergarten and 1st grade to use. So I used part of the money for that, and these fun little containers, and the kids have to guess how many are in here. And if you can get a little number in your head of what you think this is, the kids were very surprised, and there's 88 of them in here. And what they do is, we don't actually have it on a board with a calculator, but we actually have tens cups. So they count the ones, and once they get a group of 10, they put it in the tens cup and then put it in this place. And if it goes past 10, then they have bigger cups, and we can change the board and make it hundreds as well, okay? And they can go beyond that. With 5th graders, now that's for the younger kids, but with 5th graders, what I do is I make them represent it with base 10 blocks, okay? So this is 100, these are 10s, and these are 1s, okay? So I wanted to kind of take a step back a little bit and kind of show you where this comes from. This is based on educational theory. And what we do is we bridge the understanding for math. So in order for them to get to a point where they can use the calculators and they can use their abstract thinking, they need to be able to represent things with hands-on activities. So one of the things we have is we have snap cubes. And with these snap cubes, I can teach the kids volume very easily. If they have to do volume, base times height times width, it's really hard for them to understand if it's written on a sheet of paper. They can't see it. And this way we can say 3 times 3 times 3. We can actually take it apart and count how many are there. And they can see it, and then they go, oh, it's like my favorite sound in the world. Oh, I see. Gee, that makes sense. So this is based on these theorists, and there are many more, but these are some of my favorites. Piaget and Dewey, Brunner, Vygotsky, and Montessori, and we all know the Montessori schools, so that's what that philosophy is based upon. The symbolic level is where you take it and actually, like this, is you put it with pictures and numbers. And then you take it to the abstract level, which is actually the problem itself that's in the math book. And one of the things that I feel that a lot of math curriculums miss are these other two steps with the concrete and the symbolic, and we move the kids right to the abstract, and they're just like, well, I don't know what 5 is. How am I going to do 5 times 7? And they can't visualize it. They can't see it. Okay, so that's what these help them to do. The second year of the grant, we were able to provide trainings for teachers. And I wanted everybody to feel comfortable with being experts in their own classrooms and just kind of taking risks. And I didn't want to be the only one who knew how to do these things. So we provided trainings in August and then again in February. So the grant helped us to do that. And that was really, really exciting. So now teachers can feel comfortable kind of taking it off on their own. So what I put for the next one is it's now got legs of its own. It's really so cool to watch everybody just kind of taking it. And there are some pictures on there from Nancy and Megan and Julie with their parents who have some of the math manipulatives during one of the meetings, and they're actually learning how to use them. So Carrie Runke-Jones took it upon herself to take some of the extra manipulatives and make little math boxes so that the kids can take them home and work with them at home. I mean, it's really, really exciting. So one of the things I forgot to tell you with the estimating jar, just so you guys know, up there in the high school, we actually take all the estimates and we put them in order, and they have to find the mean, median, mode, range, and the maximum and the minimum every time they do this. And they're getting pretty good at it. At first it was like their estimates went from like 17 to 180, and I was like, really? Is that reasonable? Let's think about how different that is. They're getting a little better. We need to work on it a little bit. With each one of the manipulatives, there are 7 different manipulatives. There comes books for each of the teachers in each grade level. So what I did was I took part of the book, which is the students working on their own, and they have centers that we can actually put up to go with each one of the math concepts. And then lastly, what I have, my kids have been writing a newspaper this year, and I kind of forced them to do this, but they were kind of happy about it. They went out and interviewed all the teachers and asked them what their favorite manipulative is, how they use it with their kids, and they put this together for you guys. So you don't have to remember things. You can take this along with you when you present it, okay? But it's really cool how everybody has participated and taken on these math manipulatives. And what's really cool about it is you got to know that this year we have 561 students, and you guys are affecting 561 students, plus over 45 classroom teachers, special education, and ESL teachers. So that's over 600 people, year after year after year. So thank you.